Good morning, I'm Stephen Jardine. Friday, May 20th. Delighted to be with you this Friday and every Friday. I'm here until noon on BBC Radio Scotland. This is what we're talking about this morning.
Your calls, your stories. Mornings with Stephen Jardine on BBC Radio Scotland.
But first, the phone-in. This morning, the honourable company of Edinburgh golfers have been trending on social media. Why? Because Muirfield Golf Club has voted not to admit women members. The decision has been widely condemned, with First Minister Nicola Sturgeon calling it indefensible and former Open champion Rory McIlroy urging the Muirfield members to think again. The club's also been banned from hosting the Open until it changes its decision. Piers Morgan tweeted to his 5 million social media followers this morning that Muirfield is a ghastly, dinosaur-ridden golf club. But Muirfield is a private club. Here are the thoughts of veteran BBC golf commentator Peter Allis.
If somebody wants to join, well, you better get married to somebody who's a member. I believe that clubs were formed years ago by people of like spirit, doctors, lawyers, accountants, bakers, butchers, whatever they like, and they joined in like spirit to talk amongst them, to do whatever. I want to join the WVS, but unless I have a few bits and pieces nipped away on my body, I'm not going to be able to get in.
So what do you think this Friday morning? As a private club, do you believe Muirfield, what they do is their own business? Or do you think it's an embarrassment for Scotland? That's the phone in this morning, 0500 92 95 00, or text us 80295. It's going to be a busy one. Already Derek from the Honourable Golf Club of Dundee on the text. Muirfield is a private members club. They have the right to admit anyone they wish. Here's Julian Stirling, though. This vote tells me that being a woman, I'm a second-class citizen. Bring back the suffragettes. What's your view? 0500 92 95 00, or text us 80295. Straight to the phone lines. Elspeth first up this morning from Mulgai. Good morning, Elspeth.
Good morning, Stephen.
What do you think?
Well, obviously I'm a woman. I believe in equal opportunities, but I do believe that it is a private club. The members are paying the fees, not the rest of Scotland, and I think the members are perfectly entitled to make their own rules. And I'm not embarrassed, because I actually think that it shows that there's room in Scotland, as there should be in nations worldwide, for individuals to have control, legal control, constitutional control in certain situations, which they obviously have here in Muirfield. And I think nobody should lose that right. I think it's important we keep that right. So I'm not embarrassed. Scotland is one of the homes in golf. We have tremendous other, courses where competitions can take place. And I would defend the individual's rights, especially paying members constitutionally legally, to have their own voice. And I think we're in danger here of trying to override democracy.
Here's a tweet from Heather McRae, the professional golfer, Elspeth. She said, the last time I played Muirfield, I had to sit outside after the game as I wasn't allowed in the clubhouse. I sat and watched a member go in with his dog. What kind of message does that send out to women, do you think?
Well, I know you're trying to make me say possibly that that's not a good message, but, we do have women-only clubs. So there's a business professional women's organisation. We have men-only organisation, women's-only organisations. My grandmother said men and women are like bookends. They cover things from different ends, and that's our strength. And there are clubs, I believe, where men and women are permitted to play golf together. So it's not that there are no clubs where that can happen. And so I think, there is a freedom of will that should concur here. And if a woman finds that difficult, go to a club that has mixed golf.
Elspeth, stay with me. We're all about equality in this programme. So I want to introduce you to Pete, who's called from Helensburgh this morning. Pete, good morning. Welcome to the programme.
Yes, good morning, Stephen. I've been listening to the lady that was talking about constitutional rights and all the rest of it. That's fine, but I play golf all over Scotland, for in the senior, the senior programmes you get where you can go to a club and play, for £10, whatever. But we've got to remember, Stephen, that the ladies behind the scenes that actually make these clubs work and get these competitions, make them successful, etc. So for me, I think Muirfield should really take a look at themselves again and have a vote on it and say, well, look, I think it's time that we took another look at this, because I certainly think in the 21st century it's time that they change what they propose.
But Pete, Elspeth is saying it's a private club. It's up to them what they do, what their rules are.
Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying, is that it's a private club, it's up to them, but I think common sense prevails, does it not? I mean, we it's something I think that started to get a bit out of proportion in a way, but it's a very important issue to the club members. These members voted democratically for what they believe, but again, I think if they went back to another vote, I think you would find that a lot of the members would then say, well, OK, let's put certain conditions or whatever on it and all the rest.
Elspeth, Pete says that common sense needs to prevail here.
Well, common sense is maybe not as common as the name would suggest, but I do think, as Pete agrees, they have taken a democratic vote, and this is a democratic country, and there are other places that people can go to if they're not happy with that particular club. And I do agree with them. There'll be ladies behind the scenes. Throughout history, women have worked behind the scenes, and I always use my vote because of what the suffragettes did. But, I still stand by the fact that I do not want democracy to be lost in any way, shape or form, just through media, through, pressure to what is a democratic private club. And I am a woman, and I believe in the suffragette women's movement, and I'm a very independent woman, but I do think, men and women sometimes need their own place. If it was the only place in Scotland where perhaps we could have an open competition, perhaps they might have been asked to sing again. But at the end of the day, I do believe a private club, a democracy, the common sense that this club share in common is that they want to remain men only. They're obviously quite happy to have the woman working with them, and the women who are working in the background presumably are happy to do that, or they wouldn't be there. Men support women in other instances, women support men. But I think the main thing is Scotland need not be embarrassed. We can hold our heads high. We have fantastic golf venues. We're showing to the world that we are, an independent nation with independent voices.
Elspeth, thank you. First caller this morning,
Thank
Elspeth
you.
from Mulgai, and then Pete from Helensburgh there. Do you agree with Elspeth's view? This is a democratic decision in a democracy. We need to abide by it. Or do you think this decision is an embarrassment for Scotland? 0500 92 95 00 80295 on the text. John from Glasgow. Golf is misogynistic enough. What really bugged me were the middle-class Tweedy women meekly accepting the status quo. Mrs. Pankhurst, where are you? Peter Alice is a dinosaur if he thinks this is fine. Dennis says, gentlemen only, women forbidden. Motto is as old as the game. It's a total disgrace to golf in Scotland that Muirfield voted, albeit marginally, to ban women from their membership. They will pay a high price for this decision in lost revenue and reputation. Speculation it could cost Scotland up to £100 million, the decision not to bring the Open back to Muirfield. So what do you think? Is this an embarrassment? Are we a laughing stock because of this? 0500 92 95 00 80295 on the text. Let's speak now to Mike Buchanan, who is leader of Justice for Men and the Boys Political Party. Michael, welcome to the programme this morning.
Thank you, Stephen. Good morning.
Bad day for golf, bad day for Scotland.
Of course not. Of course not. I applaud the members of Muirfield for voting against the introduction of women members. They should be proud this morning, and Scots should be proud, that these men voted with their consciences and refused to be shamed into giving up one of their freedoms. Now, all the great golf courses in the world, in Scotland as elsewhere, were financed by men, designed by men, built by men, they're maintained by men, and they're managed by men. It's about time that women such as those whining about the Muirfield decision started to finance, design, build, maintain and manage their clubs, their own golf clubs, and make them female only if that's what they want. Nothing and nobody, Stephen, is standing in their way. And very few men, if any, would object to women-only golf clubs.
Mike,
but I guess it's easier for women to whine than to work.
Mike, are you happy with... So it's all right for you if the women are cleaning the clubhouse, they're serving the teas, they're making the lunches, just not all right if they're playing on the course?
No, I think Elspeth got it completely right. But a very sensible lady. It's a private club. You know, there are plenty of female-only organisations, and men don't moan about them. Girl Guiding still doesn't allow boys to join, while the Scouts have long allowed girls to join. The Women's Institute don't accept men. It's only men-only organisations that you know this is all about. So I have to say, why shouldn't the members of Muirfield Golf Club vote as they please without fear of the gender thought police? Why does everything have to be subjected to miserable feminists' moral judgments? Now, Nicola Sturgeon, in saying the vote is indefensible, shows her standing in moral judgment of men, as if she belongs to a superior species. She's disapproving of men rather than just disagreeing with them, and that's a naked attempt to shame men into giving up yet more of their freedoms.
That's Mike Buchanan, leader of Justice for Men and the Boys Political Party. Do you agree with his views? 0500 92 90.